Welcome to Life Stories, where real voices and raw emotions come together to remind us that we're not alone. Today's story is about family, betrayal, and the quiet power of walking away. When one man is excluded from his own sister's wedding after years of sacrifice and silence, he chooses something he's never dared to before, himself. It's a journey of heartbreak, healing, and ultimate freedom. Subscribe to the channel and join us as we begin today's story, because sometimes choosing peace means letting go of everything you thought you had to hold on to. My name is Jason. I am 32 years old, the eldest son in a family that never quite knew how to hold itself together. If you asked anyone growing up, they'd say I was the quiet one, the dependable one. Nothing remarkable on the surface, but I had a knack for being the one people called when things fell apart. Especially my sister, Brianna. She's 4 years younger than me. Bright, spontaneous, emotional, everything I wasn't. Ever since we were kids, she had this chaotic energy about her. Like she was always either flying high or crashing hard. And every time she crashed, I was there to catch her. That's what big brothers do, right? I still remember the night she called me sobbing at 1 o'clock a.m. She was 22. Heartbroken after her boyfriend had dumped her out of the blue. I was on the night shift at the hospital 14 hours straight in the ER. I should have been sleeping, but I didn't hesitate. I drove from Sacramento all the way to Santa Cruz just to pick her up. I found her sitting on the curb, mascara streaked across her cheeks, clutching a bottle of cheap RS. I wrapped her in my jacket and brought her back to my place, where I still shared a small flat with a friend. She slept on the couch. I didn't sleep at all. It became a pattern. She'd lose her job, or get into a fight with MOM, or just feel overwhelmed with life, and she'd call me. And every single time I answered. I found her a place to live when she couldn't pay rent. I wired her money, $900 I had saved for my college course fees, just so she wouldn't be evicted. I never asked for it back. But none of that mattered. A week ago, I got a text from Brianna. A short, cheerful message, one of those fake, overly sweet notes that says everything and nothing at the same time. Hey, just letting you know the guest list is finalized. Had to make a few cuts, hope you understand. Love you. I stared at it for a long time. I read it again and again, trying to make it mean something else. It didn't. My own sister, whom I'd stood by through everything, had cut me from her wedding. I called MOM immediately, heart thudding in my chest. She answered in her usual sing-song voice, as if nothing was wrong. Jason, sweetheart, what's going on? I didn't bother pretending. I just got a text from Brianna. She said I'm not invited to the wedding. Is that true? There was a pause, a long, deliberate silence. Then she sighed the same sigh she used when I was a kid, and dared to feel something she didn't want to deal with. Oh, Jason, don't make a fuss. It's just a wedding. Just a wedding. I'm her brother, MOM. How could I not be invited? She clicked her tongue. God, that sound still grates on me. It's nothing personal, sweetheart. They're trying to keep things small. Everything's expensive nowadays. Everyone has to make compromises. I tried to keep calm. I saw Brianna's Instagram post. She booked a banquet hall in San Diego. There's a live band. Over 120 people are coming. Even her friends from high school are invited. Am I worth less than them? Her voice sharpened. You're overreacting. Don't let this little thing hurt you. But it did. It cut deeper than anything they'd ever said or done. Not because I wasn't invited to a party, but because it confirmed something I'd suspected for years. I was only needed when things got ugly, when life was messy and painful, when they needed someone strong to clean up the broken pieces. But when things were beautiful, when there was joy and celebration, I was invisible. I hung up. And in that quiet, heavy moment, something inside me shifted. I didn't argue. I didn't send a long, emotional reply to Brianna. I didn't beg to be included. I opened my laptop and booked a vacation. A real one. Somewhere far from them, far from everything. Somewhere I could finally breathe. I had spent too many years believing that if I just gave more, loved harder, stayed patient, one day they'd see me, appreciate me. But the truth was, I'd been a shadow in my own family. And now, they didn't just overlook me, they erased me completely. So I made a decision. If they could move on without me, then I could do the same. I was done trying to earn a place I had already deserved. I landed in Maui on a Tuesday afternoon, the kind of day that smelled like salt and citrus and promise. The air was soft and warm, the sky painted in pale blues and golds. I stepped out of the sleek black SUV that had picked me up from the airport, handed the driver a generous tip, and walked into the resort like someone stepping out of an old life. The receptionist greeted me with a cool towel and a pineapple cocktail. "Welcome back, Mr. Jason," she said with a wink. "I've never been here before," I replied with a small smile. "Still," she said, "we hope you want to come back." Maybe I would. My suite overlooked the ocean, the view uninterrupted except for a few scattered palm trees swaying in rhythm with the breeze. I stood on the balcony for a long time, watching the waves move like breath, steady, unapologetic, completely free. For once, I didn't feel like I had to answer to anyone. No one needed me here. No one expected anything from me. It was just me and the sound of the sea. But that peace didn't last long. My phone began to buzz during my second cocktail. Once, twice, then every few seconds. I tried to ignore it. I really did, but eventually curiosity got the better of me. The first message was from Ethan, my cousin, one of the few in the family who actually had a working moral compass. "Bro, not joking. Brianna's wedding just exploded." I blinked at the screen, unsure what that even meant. Then another message came through. The groom walked out, mid-reception, in front of everyone. "Brianna's losing it." I couldn't help it, I laughed. A sharp, stunned laugh that rose from somewhere deep, where bitterness had long taken root. I took a slow sip of my drink and let the irony wash over me. Then came the messages from MOM. "Jason, call me right now. It's serious." And then, "Your sister needs you. Where are you?" Still more followed, from unknown numbers, from relatives I hadn't heard from in years. And finally, one from Brianna herself. "Please, I need you. Please answer me. I was wrong, okay? But don't do this." I stared at that one longer than the others. For a brief moment, the old instinct kicked in. The part of me that always got up, always drove through the night, always rescued her from her own storms. But then I remembered her message just a few days before. The one where I didn't make the cut. The one where she told me to understand. Now she needed me. Now I mattered. But I didn't move. I didn't reply. Instead, I posted a photo. The ocean view from my balcony. The sky a soft amber as the sun began to dip. Caption: "Didn't get invited to the wedding. No big deal. Getting uninvited from a disaster is even better." The likes rolled in almost immediately. A few laughing emojis, a heart from Ethan, and one comment that stood out from my Aunt Karen. "Proud of you for choosing yourself for once." I turned off my phone. I had a steak dinner waiting, and a sunset to enjoy. Let them figure out the wreckage without me. The next morning, I woke to birdsong and the scent of the sea. A soft breeze drifted in through the open balcony doors, ruffling the edge of the hotel robe I'd fallen asleep in. I stretched slowly, letting the quiet fill me. No notifications, no guilt, no responsibilities clawing their way back into my chest. I took my time getting ready, sipping rich Kona coffee while watching the waves roll in. By noon, I was lying beside the infinity pool, a mojito in one hand and a novel in the other. I hadn't even turned past page 5, not because it was boring, but because I kept laughing at the chaos unfolding in my phone's message previews. It was like watching a drama I no longer had a role in. Then the name lit up my screen. Ashley. My cousin. The only one who had ever quietly defended me during those family dinner ambushes where I was painted as too sensitive or too cold. She was calling. I hesitated, but something told me to pick up. "Jason?" Her voice was breathless. "You finally answered. I promise I won't keep you long. Just God, you need to hear this." I chuckled. "You've got about 3 minutes before I carry my weight in Sid AHI. She exhaled hard. "Okay." So, Brianna shattered a wine glass. threatened to jump into the garden fountain. Your MOM nearly fought the maid of honor, and your grandmother, yes. Grandma Janet stood up and said, "This is the universe punishing us for cutting out the one person who always sacrificed without complaining." I nearly dropped my drink. Ashley continued, "Then your MOM blamed you, said, if Jason had been here, this wouldn't have happened." I laughed, a deep belly laugh I hadn't let out in years. Of course she did. Ashley laughed too, but it was gentler. "I just wanted to say, you are not crazy. You are not being dramatic. They're the ones who built this mess and expected you to come save them." Again. I was quiet for a moment, gazing out at the horizon. "Thank you," I said, "really, for saying that." "I should have said it sooner," she replied. "Next time you plan an escape like this, count me in." I smiled. "You'll need your own 5-star suite. I don't share my balcony view." We ended the call with no need for dramatic goodbyes, just a quiet understanding between two people who had finally seen the truth for what it was. That evening, as the sun melted into the Pacific, I dressed for dinner, linen shirt, sandals, peace in my chest. I took one last look at my phone. Messages still poured in, but I didn't open them. I didn't need to. I had already heard everything I needed to hear. The last thing I did was scroll through my contacts. I found 3 familiar names: MOM, Brianna, even Ethan, and I blocked them all. No anger, no regret, just silence. Then I stepped out into the Maui night, the air warm against my skin, and I walked toward a future that, for the first time in my life, was truly mine. As I sat by the beach that final evening, toes buried in the warm sand, I watched the waves crash and recede with a calm that felt almost sacred. For the first time in years, I wasn't carrying anyone's burden. No late-night phone calls. No guilt. No one expecting me to be their emotional safety net. Just me and the peace I had been denying myself for far too long. This trip wasn't just about skipping a wedding. It was about unlearning a lifetime of beliefs. That love always means sacrifice. That being family means tolerating being invisible. That if you give enough of yourself, eventually someone will notice. They didn't, but I did. I noticed the cracks in my own foundation, the ones I had kept patching for others while ignoring the slow crumble inside myself. I finally realized that healing doesn't always come from fixing broken relationships. Sometimes it comes from stepping away from them entirely. They threw a wedding and forgot me. I built a life and remembered myself. As the sky turned shades of amber and lavender, I snapped one last photo of the sunset, no caption this time. No message aimed at anyone, just a quiet image for myself, proof that I was here, that I chose peace, that I let go. And in that stillness, I found something I'd been chasing for years: freedom. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, or if you've ever felt like the forgotten one, I hope you remember this. Choosing yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. Don't forget to subscribe to Life Stories for more powerful, true experiences about family, healing, and finding your own path.